Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how we made this farmhouse hood vent custom made for over our stovetop. I love how it turned out, so let's jump right in and I'll show you how we did it. The first thing that we did was sketch out kind of a rough drawing of the different pieces of wood that we needed. We weren't 100% sure what the finished product was going to look like, but we did lots of measuring and just sketched out kind of what we thought we would need so we knew how much wood to get. This is what it looked like before. We only had a cabinet there that we took down. There's a power source already there, but there's no vent to the outside, which we will need to add. We used 3/4 inch high quality plywood to build the box out of that goes around the fan. We ended up using a half sheet, so we didn't need the full 4x8, so that could have saved us a little bit of money, but we used a full sheet of plywood. We also got some new tools to help guide the saw so we can get straight cuts since we didn't have a table saw. I'll link everything that I can down below because this was such a huge help for cutting. Once we cut the side pieces, we knew we wanted them to be at an angle, so we put it up against the cabinet and marked it with a pen. That way we can get the perfect angle. Then we placed the board on top of the other side and cut them both at the same time so they were exactly even. Here's the hood vent insert that we got. It's the Z-Line brand. We bought it from Home Depot online. It wasn't the cheapest one that they had because the cheaper ones were louder and we didn't want something super loud. So this was kind of their in between and we actually are pretty happy with it. So for the bottom piece of the wood unit here, we're gonna be cutting out a rectangle for the hood vent to actually insert up into. Of course, we had to make sure that it was a perfect fit, and it was. So to assemble this together, that way we wouldn't have any screws to have to cover up or showing on the outside, we used a pocket hole jig, which Simeon is going to explain how he did that. So if you don't want to watch that, you can just skip ahead to the next timestamp chapter. If not, he'll explain and you can learn.
Basically what this is a guide, so we'll mark it, we'll put it on the tool, on the board where we want it, but this here is an indicator. It has, you can measure your material depth, so like this right here, I'm working with 3/4 depth material, or thick material, so right here on they have these convenient markers. So as you can see, 3/4 in the window here on my drill stop. That will drill exactly the depth we need once it's in the jig. So the jig you set for the different depths. So you can see the gray shows up in the 3/4 depth window. So this is set for 3/4. To change it, it's as simple as moving it. Now it's at 1/2 inch depth or thick material. So there's 3/4. So now there's this nice stop that goes up against your board. So you just make sure that's up firm. Craig also has, and no, we are not sponsored by them. Nice clamps, but I've made a makeshift C-clamp work. I like using an impact driver. It's easy, you got more control than a regular drill, but a regular drill would work. It also, with the hex connector right here, it makes it extremely easy to switch back and forth from different tools. So then you just put your drill in here. Go till your stop hits and pull it out. Now you have a perfect hole.
So we finished drilling all of the pocket jig holes in all of the pieces, and then he used some wood glue to glue the frame together, and he put it in some of his clamps that he had and had it all nice and straight and even and perfect. He tightened it down, and then he went ahead and screwed all of the screws in those pocket jig holes that we drilled.
I've got this feeling, I'm feeling you could be the one. reason why I should ever let you go. I don't wanna wake up if I'm dreaming, because you know I can't get enough of this feeling you're giving me. Don't wanna wake up. No, I don't wanna wake up. I don't wanna wake up without you, baby, without. I wouldn't know what to. Baby, without you, I wouldn't know what to. Oh, you know, oh, you know, oh, you know, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. Baby, without.
Now that the cabinet box is all put together, I'm going to go ahead and prime it with 2 coats of Stix primer. I'm using a special cabinet foam roller that I got from Home Depot. Once it was completely dry from the primer, before we put it on the wall, we're going to go ahead and mount and secure the actual hood vent up inside. So it came with some brackets that screw into your wood, as well as the hood vent, just to make it nice and secure. So to actually mount this on the wall, Simeon cut out a support board with an angle at the back. It's kind of like a cleat system. It's kind of hard to explain, and I didn't get a close-up of it, but he's gonna screw this into the studs and make sure it's all nice and level. And then the support piece on the back of this unit has an angle on the top that is opposite from this board, so it's actually gonna hang on there and hook on there. And the reason why we did this is so that way we don't have to try to hold it up and screw it on. So it fits kind of like a puzzle together there on the back, and it holds it really nicely in place. That's pretty quiet. Is it?
That'll be covered up though.
Yeah, it won't be as loud. So the next step before we can finish the front is to actually vent the hood outside. This is an exterior wall, so Simeon just took the ductwork and put it up on the wall, drew a circle around it. Then of course the kids were super eager to help with the vacuum hose, vacuuming up the dust so the house wouldn't get too dusty as we were cutting a hole. So he first cut a hole through just the drywall on the inside with his jigsaw. And then for the outside, he traced on the stucco the size hole that he needed to do. We've had experience with these 2 windows in cutting through the stucco. If you want to see those videos, then I'll link them down below for our kitchen and laundry room project. So because we didn't really have a circle saw that could cut a circle hole, he just used his regular saw and kind of cut in an octagon shape so we can get that circle cut out. He had to kind of pick through it and use some wire cutters to cut through the chicken wire that's behind the stucco. I don't know if that's what it's called. The hole didn't turn out too pretty, but it's covered up, as you can see, with this hood vent here. Once we got this back up and mounted on the wall, Simeon put in the exhaust pipe through the hole that he had just drilled, and then we screwed the box into the wall where the studs were, just to secure it and make sure it was all nice and securely up there. All right, now time to work on the front. So we measured the front area, and we're going to use some of this leftover shiplap paneling that we did from our island. I'll link that video down below if you guys want to check out how we did that. So once we got it to the size we needed, Simeon used his brad nailer and just secured it up there. We used MDF trim pieces just like we did for the island to trim out the hood vent up here, and again securely fastening those with the brad nailer. Once that was all up, I taped everything off so I can go ahead and prime it. Now I'm just doing one coat of the Sticks primer. I already primed the sides of the box. It's really hard to do it with the cabinets here, so I'm just doing the front and the trim pieces that we did. Now these are already pre-primed, but I'm only doing one coat because we filled in all the little brad nail holes, and I want to get a nice base on here before I actually do the cabinet paint. The paint that I'm using is the Benjamin Moore Advanced paint. It's satin and the color is Chantilly lace. This is the same stuff that I use to paint our cabinets, and I did do a video on how I did that. So if you guys want to watch that, I'll link that down below for you guys and you can check out that process. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 coats on this. I knew I wanted an accent wood piece to go on the bottom, and we went to Home Depot and got a 1x4 pine board, and then we also got a few trim pieces just to kind of make it look a little bit prettier. So we have this little arch piece, and we're going to go ahead and layer them so that way it gives a little bit more texture and looks really nice and pretty. So here is the board sort of put together. We've got one corner going, and we've tapered the edge here because we won't be able to open the cabinet if we don't do that, but from front on you won't even be able to see it. We love how it turned out and came together. However, they say measure twice, cut once. We were short a couple inches and didn't realize it when we cut the side pieces. So Simeon is getting a new piece, and I'm going to practice staining this to see how it comes out, but it is going to look so nice up there. I'm so excited how it's going to turn out. Look how beautiful this accent piece turned out. I am so excited and I cannot wait to stain this. It looks absolutely stunning. My favorite stain is the briar smoke. This is what we used on our dining room table and some shelving that we have in the dining room. So I think it's gonna tie it all really nicely together to have that dark accent piece. Simeon sanded this down really good for me, so I'm gonna dust it down before I go ahead and stain it. With staining, I'm just using a rag and wiping it on, leaving it for a few minutes, and then wiping it off. I love this stain so much. It's my absolute favorite. Just look at the beautiful wood detail you can see in the grain of wood. The little details that we did on the end of it are just so gorgeous. Can you tell I'm in love with this? I just love it so much. So we let it dry for several days before we mounted it up on the hood vent. Simeon used his brad nail gun again to do that, and then he went in and filled in the holes with some wood filler, and then we stained those holes and you can't even see it. I cannot believe how amazing and beautiful this turned out. It really has that farmhouse style that I was going for. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to check out our other kitchen renovation and home renovation videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. This is the handsome man that puts together all my stuff.